Hello, anyone not still living in the 1970s. We interrupt your day to bring you this announcement. Husker Ninja is in the building. Alright, guys, we're here today with something a little bit different. As you guys may or may not know, I had a Memphis Tigers Dynasty I started on the channel like 2-3 years ago. And it was something that I had to go along with what was at the time the Nebraska City Offensive Coordinator Dynasty. And basically, I looked back at all the videos I had put out for this series over the course of its existence, and only 2 of them had been edited. A lot of them were played back in the time where the computer I had would not allow me to edit videos for some reason. It was really weird. And so I just live streamed everything on Twitch and uploaded all those Twitch streams to YouTube. It was really weird. But now I'm able to edit, and combine that with the fact that we went 10-4, played in the Fiesta Bowl year 1, and we're like 10-0 or 10-1 and ranked number 4 in season 2. I felt like we did a little too good too quickly, and so I have decided to reboot the Memphis Tigers dynasty. We're going to continue to stick with Yakov Kolenkov, the head coach from Russia, and he went up 15 levels over the course of the Memphis dynasty, so he just started at level 15. I figured that would make sense. And you can see this is what our schedule is going to look like. You can just take a look over there. I sort of explain what the roster is going to be for this series. A lot of it is going to be the same rosters that I had when I started the Memphis Dynasty. So players who were on the roster at the time, like Jacob Karam and Kaylon Malone, those guys are still going to be on there. I also added a lot of my first year recruiting class into the roster. So that would be guys like Joe Holloway. They made it into the roster. And then I took, I think, 3 or 4 would-be freshmen in year 3. So part of my year 2 recruiting class. And I added them to the rosters as well. And then the rest are just from the most recent rosters I have. But as you can see, we're going through the conference outlook, and you can see I made some changes to make the American more interesting. I mean, I played in the American a lot. I'm getting tired of some of those teams, so I thought it would just be kind of fun to, especially since like Memphis still has Louisville listed as a rival, so keep them in our division. Bring in Vanderbilt, try and create an in-state rivalry. I just figured a lot of that would be fun to do, and so that's why these conferences are not very accurate. So if you wanted accuracy, sorry about that. You can watch my other Dynasty series for that, I suppose, as well as a live stream Dynasty I'm considering starting up here pretty soon. But not certain about that yet. But yeah, these are not the most realistic conferences ever. It's just something that I wanted to make this series more fun for me to play, obviously. And we're almost there. The Pac-12 actually stayed the same. The SEC stayed the same, except for UCF came in to replace Vandy. And so Vanderbilt replaced with UCF. Otherwise, the SEC is the same. The Sun Belt's the same. But we're going to go through it anyway, just because we went through pretty much all the other ones. And so that brings us to the roster. And so I did go with the players who were on the team originally. I put them as what they were in season 2. So in season 2, Jacob Karam was a redshirt sophomore. When I took pictures of their ratings and everything and made it as realistic to the original Dynasty as I could. Dorlan Dorcius was not in the original series, but I remembered him from real life. Thought he had a pretty cool name. So I decided he could be the backup tailback. And TJ Mooney was part of the year 2 recruiting class. The other 2 freshmen who I redshirted were part of the season 1 recruiting class. All 3 are freshmen. They're all going to be redshirted year 1. And so again, we had Joe Craig, K1 Malone, Tevin Jones. Those guys were all part of the team when I originally started the Dynasty. Rudy Barrett, Brandon Webb, and Lawrence Knox were all part of recruiting classes. I think Knox was a JUCO sophomore, and he was part of the year 2 recruiting class. I think maybe he wasn't, but at tight end and left tackle, we had pieces from the year 1 recruiting class and George Peterson. Keith Bowling was the main guy in the year 2 recruiting class I was super excited about. The freshman left guard, he was in state. I really wanted him. We finally got him over Tennessee when he came in on a visit in week 12, which I actually never uploaded, but because I was like, you know what, I should just reboot it. And you can see we got Joel Holloway. He was having a monster freshman season in the original Dynasty. I hope he continues to be a monster in this one. I guess we'll find out. The difference is I'm redshirting Terrence Kaineri here because originally he wanted playing time, and so I figured he would transfer if I didn't start him. But here, hey, maybe he won't transfer if I redshirt him, or maybe he still will. We'll see what happens. But Golden is also a senior, and so next year he would be a true freshman or redshirt freshman starter. We also got Jimmy Rodriguez. He's a freshman linebacker we are redshirting. So really we're redshirting quite a few of the freshmen and the pieces from previous recruiting classes in the original Dynasty, which is not too, I don't have that much of a problem with. And you can see we got Charles Harrison, really no one else at middle linebacker, so hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Skip Maddox was going to be the player I was second most excited about in the second season recruiting class. So he's going to play as a true freshman. Lionel Brooks will be our return specialist like he was in year 2, the JUCO sophomore in the year 1 recruiting class. And so that's kind of what I have planned for him, is to be the return specialist. And you can see we got true freshmen starting at both safety spots. Kyler James is part of the year 1 recruiting class, and he was a true freshman. But just to try and hopefully even out the number of each class I had, I decided to make him a sophomore in this version of the rosters. I don't remember if I redshirted him or not, but now we move on to the recruiting board, and this gives me a chance to talk about my plan for recruiting for this to make it somewhat challenging but also still fun. I decided, since Memphis is in Tennessee, something I kind of like to do in my dynasties now that I've come up with over the course of the past year and whatnot is only recruiting your team's home state and the nearby states. So we're going to show through Pipeline States the map here, what that means for Memphis. So for Memphis, obviously that means you can recruit Tennessee. You can also recruit Kentucky because they're neighboring to the top, or to the north. Why would I say to the top? I don't know, to the north. You can also recruit, it's touching Virginia, so it's really the home state, and the bordering states would be a better way of putting it instead of just nearby states. So for Memphis, that would be Tennessee, the home state, Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Missouri. I think I went through and those are all the ones they're touching. Not quite touching South Carolina because North Carolina blocked off the path for it to be bordering South Carolina. What can you do about that, I guess? So all of our prospects, you can see, are from those neighboring states. You got your Virginias, a couple from Georgia, it's looking like. I actually don't have any from Mississippi right now, but that can obviously change. Anyway, that'll do it. This was just to kind of serve as an introduction and explain my decision to reboot. The next video will be week 1, but that'll do it for me. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.